In this video, I'm going to talk to you about one of the most important skills I've put into my production AI skills conglomerate. It's actually the most important skill that you can use when first starting out to either implement a new feature or to design something from scratch. And ultimately, using this skill in your own workflows will completely change the quality and consistency of your outcomes. There's certainly more to come after that, but honestly, this skill is a game changer when you start to implement it properly. And that's what I'm going to be sharing in this episode. So we've all been in that place where you have an idea for an app, or you have a client who comes along with an idea, and you just go to your AI and you're like, build this thing for me. And it immediately goes away and it builds it, and it kind of meets your intention, and maybe like the UI looks kind of good, but like when you start to click around, it doesn't work, and there's just random things that go wrong. And ultimately you end up having to spend tens and tens of hours fixing it up, to the point where you wonder why you even bothered using your AI in the first place. If that's you, then you're absolutely going to love what I'm talking about today, because this skill will change that for you significantly, and it'll really help you improve the quality of what you're building. Now, as a quick reminder, you can find all of the stuff I'm sharing today on my GitHub, which is linked in the description under Jimton. All of the skills I'm talking about today, all of the links that it happens, how it all works, all of it is there completely free for you, available. You can download and use it. I just ask that if you choose to use it, give me some attribution and maybe drop me a thing in the comments and say, hey, I used this, it really helped. That's really cool for me, and it helps me as a content creator. So let's get into it. This particular skill I've called clarify before build, and its job is to interrogate you whenever you ask it to do something vague. Now, I wrote down some of the key things that it has for you, and I'm just going to read them off my notepad now. So number one, it refuses to build from just something vibey. It interrogates words that imply some level of ambiguity, like simple, robust, production ready, like those key things that can mean anything to anyone but need to be understood. It right sizes itself. It uses a structured ledger to track implementation and also track its understanding. It persists any plans it comes up with across sessions, so it creates a saved version of it. And it creates a confirmed contract that everyone can work with moving forward. Some of the other cool things it does is that it links to other skills within whatever you're doing. And one of the other ones that it does really, really well is links to a UI skill. So if you ask to build it a UI, it'll go to a UI skill and design according to whatever design patterns you have in there. And it has a question bank that I've put in there that I'm constantly updating as my system improves itself. So with all of that in mind, let me talk about why it's important and what it does. One of the key things you quickly learn with large language models is they don't deal with ambiguity very, very well. And the reason for that is because large language models are not deterministic in how they do things. They actually use statistic ambiguity in order to achieve their outcomes. Now, that's really handy because it gives them the ability to think for themselves and to navigate unclear environments, but it also means that you delegate decision making to your large language model. Take, for instance, if you ask it to build a robust user interface for people to enter in something. What does that actually mean? What does robust mean? Do you mean that it should handle all inputs? Do you mean that it should only handle numbers or letters? How long should those numbers be? What's the largest number it can handle? How long should the input be? Should it be 50 characters, 250, 500? What types of input? Do we want JSON? Do we want .nd? Do we want just plain text? Right? Robust can mean lots of different things to lots of different people. And you as a software developer or a cybersecurity professional probably have a very clear idea in your head about what robust means. I might have a different perspective. A large language model needs a way to understand what your version of robust is so that it can design according to what you have inside of you. The skill that I've developed, clarify before build, aims to take those types of things and relentlessly question you until it removes all of that ambiguity. Now, this can be a little bit frustrating and frankly overwhelming the very first time that you use it, but I promise you within 2 or 3 tries, and once you see the quality improvement from the outcome, you'll absolutely love it. Here's an example of the types of things that it does, and you can have a look at the actual full skill readout on the GitHub repository. Number one, as soon as you put the stuff in there, it's going to read through and start to create a contract. That contract is going to be ordered in terms of a list or a table that it's going to be saving as it updates it. And whenever it starts to notice things like ambiguity or words that could be ambiguous, it's going to start working through them and asking you questions about it. So if you say, I'd like a robust, production-ready user interface, here's what's going to happen. First of all, it's going to pull up the user interface skill that you would have. And you can see a version of that I use on my GitHub. It's going to go through and it's going to start designing that UI for you. Then it's going to be like, okay, well, what's robust mean? And it's going to ask you some questions. Do you mean this? Do you mean that? If you've got something like codex memory improvements on there, it's going to remember other times that you've asked those questions. So you will find over time that it gets better and better at answering those questions in advance. Where it can, it's going to suggest things to you like, here is my recommended path and here's the reason why. You don't have to agree with it. You could just disregard it if one. It's going to keep going along that until there's absolutely no ambiguity left. Once it's completed that, once it's gone through all of those ambiguous queries and really developed that shared understanding, it's then going to present you with a contract. And that contract is going to have a big long list of everything that could be used or could be meant or what you might mean by this. And it's going to put it all there for you. The reason for that is because after it's asked you 10 or 15 questions, you may have changed what you wanted in the start anyway because you realized that you needed to define it a little bit better. Creating that shared contract gives you a space to see all of those requirements, all of those decisions all laid out for you in one place, and you can go through and start to modify them. In general, what I've found particularly for new projects or when I'm implementing significant feature improvement, this process will generally take between 30 and 45 minutes of just constant questions, updating and understanding, refining what I want, going through it again and again. But the outcome means that I save tens and tens and tens of hours of remediation work right at the start. And that is itself a massive time saving. It goes a little bit further than that as well. When I talked about the features before, I talk about right sizing itself. And while what I've talked about sounds pretty awesome for something like a large feature set or a brand new web app, it can be pretty frustrating if all you want to do is a very, very simple query. One of the key features I put into this clarify before build skill is that if you ask it for a simple thing and it will go through and it will clarify exactly what simple means with you. So I'm not going to use that robust word here. Just be aware that if you say, I just want to do this simple thing, it's going to figure that out. It will actually check with you and it will just go ahead and give you a refined version of this skill for smaller edits. And you can absolutely use your agents.md and your codex skills or Anthropic skills, Claude skills to modify what you mean by small or simple or all of those kind of words. The key thing here is it will actually go as far as it needs to get to that shared understanding, meaning that if you want something that doesn't require a full 45-minute conversation, it will pick up on that for you. One of the other cool things that it does, it actually persists those things across conversations. I'm sure you've come across this. You can spend tons and tons of time in a particular thread with your LLM, and then it gets compacted and all of a sudden it's like it's forgotten all of those key decisions that it asked you for. That is super frustrating, and with this particular skill that will never happen because it has a shared understanding that is constantly updating and that is saved on disk, which means that when it's compacting and when it's considering the next thing that it needs to ask you, it will go back and ask you for it. Now, I'll be honest, large language models are inherently not quite there yet, so there will be times we have to repeat yourself, but saving that across sessions will radically reduce the amount of time you spend doing that. It also means that if you want to create a secondary session to work on some other aspect of what you're doing, you can just pull that up and not have to ask you all of those questions all over again. As it goes through creating this shared ledger, the other thing it will start to do when you get into your next skills, which I'll be talking about in the next episodes, is keep a track of that ledger so that it can track what has been implemented and what hasn't been implemented. That's a really, really powerful way that allows you to kind of facilitate things like goal setting, which Codex recently came out with, and I'm sure Claude is going to do as well, which allows you to keep track of all of the different things that need to happen in order for it to pass. For instance, going back to our robust example, you may define that robust means that every single user interaction is covered by an end-to-end test. It's a great thing that you should absolutely do every single time you're developing a UI. That will become part of the shared understanding, and every time you release a PR or release something into main or however you define it, it will go back to that ledger and make sure that that requirement is checked off. So that immediately improves the overall quality of your code. And finally, it has a built-in set of questions that you can absolutely feel free to add to that it will refer to. It turns out that people have patterns and there'll be certain things that you just naturally do. all the time. And this skill, particularly when it's paired with the self-improvement skill, will allow you to just constantly be adding to that bank of questions so that it just keeps working for you. That saves you time, it'll save you tokens, which saves you money in the end, saves you time at least, and it will help you to keep building a better and better skill. Now, using the skill in practice is actually pretty cool. What you'll find is that your Codex or your Claude will automatically pick it up as part of its day-to-day business. For instance, now if I go into my Codex and I say, I want to design this thing, it will immediately pick up that this is the skill that it needs to do, and it will start to use it. If at any point in time you need to actually call it directly, you just use the $, type in the skill name, and it'll do that for you. Hopefully you find that skill helpful, and don't forget you can download it, you can use it for free straight off my GitHub. Just give me a shout out if you do. And hopefully you feel like this is the sort of content that's going to help you become a far better software developer and cybersecurity professional. If that's you, then feel free to like, subscribe, and hit the thing that allows you to be notified every time I create a piece of content. And I'll see you in the next episode.